church was burying them 3 deep around the church. Okay? And they said, we need to go to the outskirts of the town, and they created this cemetery, which was a cemetery up until about 1854. Now, Mary can tell us what happened in 1854. Mount Olivet opened. Very good.
It was snazzier. It was more pretentious to put your dead at Mount Olivet.
Well,
I call that the Boot Hill of
Horribly
Fred.
out of town, though.
Because it's up on a hill.
Okay.
Yeah, coming out of Frederick. That's what most towns did.
And also, it was a much more scenic location.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it was designed. It was modern. It was designed pretty and
Modern. 1854. It was modern.
Okay.
Okay. This was just where we threw them. We placed them in the ground with proper ceremony, but not many monuments and stuff. Okay. Because you had this. Calvary obviously wasn't here. This was the Brown and Wilcox Lumberyard. Okay, so and you were on the outskirts of town. Now we're going to move over to the World War I Memorial Monument and talk about that and how this came to be Memorial Park. Set the stage for everything that was to follow, and it set the stage for what's happening today.
Got another one.
Come on, don't be bashful.
Some
I'm not
disagreeable person.
okay. You get Miles.
Miles volunteered.
I'll be Serbian.
And-
This is Judy.
No.
This is Judy.
Hi, Judy.
Hello.
And Judy, since you're a late arrival, you can be Great Britain. You get to be France. Okay. And Sharon, since you're standing far away, you get over there. You're the United States. Okay. Now we have our friends over here. Now, yes, Great Britain. Okay. Yes. You can't be shooting our Archduke. Our Archduke. Here's 13 things that you need to do in a month. Serbia says we don't think we can do that. We need our friends Russia.
Oh, Russia's here.
Okay, Russia. And Russia said, well, remember Great Britain and France, that nice little treaty you signed? Okay, so we have
4 of us.
4 of us. Now Austria-Hungary says, you know, they've got Russia on their side. We need Germany, and Germany says we need Italy. Okay, so July rolls around, 30th of July. Austria-Hungary goes to Serbia and says, we've got a trench line that extends from the North Sea all the way down to Switzerland. Okay? And what does the United States do? Well, we've always had wars in Europe. We're staying out of this, right? Okay? The same mistake twice. Okay? October 1940 institutes the first peacetime draft. 18 to 45, you're registered for the draft. Brings 1 million men in service with an expiration date of October 1941. Very, very critical. Takes the United States and makes us the arsenal for democracy. Gives Great Britain, France, Russia the opportunity to have war material, and we'll take your land for a period of time. In other words, that was the Lend-Lease program. We'd lend you the military equipment if you lease us XYZ land. So we are starting to move on in a wartime production. December 7th, 1941, with the attack of the Japanese at Pearl Harbor, places the United States in World War II. No debate in Congress this time. On December 8th, declare war against Japan. December 9th, declare war against Germany and the Germany power. To go to the to be prudent in their use. We had ration cards for everything, for meat, sugar. Well, yes, the last commercial automobile were off the production line in 1942. It was all converted over to wartime production. Boy Scouts went around, collected scrap metal. At the end, they collected 82 pounds of scrap metal for every man, woman, and child in the United States. So a lot of the priceless antiques went the way into the blast furnace. Okay. Had a severe manpower shortage in the Army. By 1944, they were releasing the individuals from prison. Marauder plant, B-26 bomber, Baltimore, Maryland. 52,000 employees. 3 shifts. You know. And the interesting thing is, you could not see the plant. That they had this great big screen that made it look like it was agriculture property, so they put over it again for that. So, war proceeds, June 6, 1944, D-Day. Individuals who assembled at the Armory in the 29th Division went ashore in the first wave, and we were bringing the war in Europe to a conclusion. It ended May 1945. Immediately, we took the troops and were sending them to the Japanese theater. With the explosion of 2 nuclear devices, that brought the Japanese to the surrender table on the battleship Missouri. World War II monument was put in 1985, and a little bit more, shall we say, utilitarian. Contains the 5,000 names, of which 200 perished in World War II from Frederick County. Troops come home, gracious nation. We go from 100 divisions to 11. Okay, really? And there's a big debate. What do we need an army for? We've got nuclear weapons. No one's going to attack us. Well, that information was not lost on the North Koreans. 38th parallel, capture the city of Seoul and push the South Korean army and the American forces to the Pusan perimeter. But this time we're going to go to war under a United Nations flag. So the United Nations puts a force on the ground. General MacArthur is successful in a landing in Incheon. Now we're pushing north to the Yalu. But on the home front, this is not the Korean War. This is a police action that we are doing in Korea. Those individuals who had an unexpired term of service after World War II are called back, which doesn't really endear them to the United States government. We don't put the United States on a wartime footing. We don't increase the draft, and the war comes to a ceasefire in 1953. We're still technically at war with the state of North Korea, and we still have troops spread along the demilitarized zone, the DMZ, protecting that for the United States. Korea, because of what happened after World War II, we partitioned these countries off for a variety of reasons. With the Gulf of Tonkin resolution, we now move from sending advisors to the Vietnam War. Substantial contribution of American military, but President Johnson's fighting essentially 2 wars, the war in Vietnam and the war on poverty. Okay, so we don't really put the United States on a wartime footing. Yes, we increase the draft, but we don't take our production and put it into the war effort. We don't list the names of everyone who served, but we have the portraits, if you will, engraved on the black obelisk of the 22 individuals from Frederick County who perished in the Vietnam War. Washington, D.C., there's a monument of 50,000 names of those individuals who gave their lives in the Vietnam War. Cold War occurs. United States Army rebuilds after some very traumatic times caused by the Vietnam War. The separation, shall we say, of the Army and the general public is well documented. Vietnam was the first war that we saw in our living rooms, that we had on-the-spot reporters to show the action that took place. August 1990, the forces of Iraq move across into Kuwait. We begin Desert Shield, bring our forces into that area of the world. January 1991, Desert Storm, 6 days. And we reestablish the borders of Kuwait, concluding that action. Then, as in 2001, with the destruction of the World Trade Centers and the flight into the Pentagon, we start Operation Enduring Freedom, moving troops into Iraq and Afghanistan, where they reside today. And then we conduct Operation Iraqi Freedom, again to take care of the entire regime of Saddam Hussein, and that war is concluded. So today we have troops that are spread across the world, from Korea into Southwest Asia, and providing for our defense. And again, this memorial park is put together with not only the monuments to the major wars, but then the tablet monuments that show the listing of all the wars that the United States has participated in, going back to the French and Indian Wars all the way to the wars today. So, a gift of both the county and the city by the auspices of the church that donated the land and enjoyable facilities today. Thank you all for coming out.